So yeah, we'll just start rolling, I guess. This is this is kind of a new part of, it's called the Xperience show. So I used to do this about 5 years ago, and it's basically what it sounds like. We just try to dive right into, the community and find out what you do and like get behind the scenes and interactive. We have our business buzz one too, which is more business focused, entrepreneurship, things like that. But this one's really more about just kind of the more fun and interesting things that we want to share to the community. So, and we're recording already. I don't have enough lapels for you guys, but that mic is recording as well. So when you talk, it's going to try to deafen out this side because it's got like 5 different microphones on it. So yeah, so it's kind of cool. So, and then all the cameras are already running, so we can just kind of jump right in. So we have Lynn, which is from the last episode, Body Sculpting by Lynn. But today, Lynn through Mediumship. Amie, who's your kind of mentor through this process.
Yes, she is.
A guest, Crystal, that I don't think anybody's ever met, right? So you're but you live in the Kingman area?
I live in Golden Valley, but
cool.
I service Kingman and Golden Valley.
Perfect,
so.
Okay. And you said you're the bug person, so
I'm
Patriot
the bug
Environmental.
lady, yeah.
Very cool, okay. And then Amber, who's your friend?
My best friend.
Best friend, husband Mike, correct? Okay, cool. So we're all here to literally experience what it is you do. How did you even get into it? And it might even start tying into kind of the history of you getting into it since you're mentoring her through it.
Yeah.
The first question I had was, how did you even, did something happen first? Or did you know of it and you were interested and you're like, I would love to be, a medium. Let me go take classes from Amie. So,
No.
Okay, so yeah, walk us through like what happened.
So it all pretty much took me by surprise. I was doing some body sculpting and I was hearing voices in my head and I thought, this is a new customer. Don't be talking like that. Don't be scaring them away. And why are you talking like that to begin with? So I ignored it. Probably about maybe 10 minutes later, I hear the voice saying the same exact thing again. And what the voice was saying was, tell my mom I'm proud of her. Well, for one, I don't know you're a mom. For two, why is this a sensitive subject? Like, why am I even saying this? I ignored it again. On the third time, I was like, fine, I'm going to tell her because whatever's in my head won't stop saying it. So I told her and she goes, oh, that's my daughter. She was murdered in California. And she says she visits me quite often. So she was already familiar with her daughter coming and visiting. Mm-hmm. So we had a really good session with the body sculpting and stuff. And she rescheduled for 2 weeks later. She came back. And I'm kind of like, oh, Lynn, don't act up. Because once again, I'm still thinking I'm in my head for some reason. I don't know. Even though she confirmed it was her daughter. So with that being said, I hear, isn't my mama beautiful? Well, the light was coming through the curtain and it was going down her face. So yeah, she did look beautiful. But why would you say that, Lynn? Why would you say that? So I ended up, after hearing it the second time, gave up right away because I know spirit, whatever, that was at the time wasn't going to stop. So I did tell her, and she thanked me for that message. Fast forward a little bit more, I go to Amber's house for a body sculpting session, and I'm like, Amber, this has happened 3 times now. I don't know what's going on with me. And she's like, well, tell me. And I can tell her anything. She's very open-minded, go with the flow. So I'm like, okay, Amber, this is what happened. And it was so cute. She's like, well, do me. And I was like, it just doesn't happen like that. Yeah. It just doesn't happen like that. Well, come to find out, it does just happen like that. Spirit came in. I kind of teleported back. I was a little girl. I saw some stuff. Freaked me out. I heard some of her other friends from when she was younger. They passed. They both came through. They were all friends. They came through in unison. They were kind of like talking together. I said, oh, the one just left. She goes, I know. I told him to go back to his wife, that she's still mourning him. I was like, what? Like, how ironic, the same one left. And then after that, Amber's like, you need to see Amie. And I'm like, yeah, I know. So on the way home, I sent Amie a message and I asked her for, I wanted 2 hours. Like, please give me 2 hours. I'll pay you. I don't care. I just need some time with you. So she said, yeah, I think I got in like within 5 days. She got me in and she heard my stories. And that's when she said, I'm coming into my mediumship. And right now I think I'm on to about 60 people I've read.
Wow.
And I think 3 have been a challenge. But I think they're a challenge because they don't have many people who have passed around them.
When you hear the voice, can you tell like, is it a girl or a guy? Is it young or old? Like, do you actually hear that? Okay, so it's not like you hearing yourself say something to yourself and then you're trying to connect what it is.
Right.
You're actually hearing the voice of this being or person.
So for example, my husband's dad is from Rhode Island, so he has a very distinctive accent,
bet you're
okay?
right, yeah.
And every time I hear that voice, I'm like, oh God, it's in my head.
Yeah, that's funny.
So I do actually physically
Even
hear.
accents, that's
yeah, I
cool.
physically hear the voice, the exactly what they sound like.
Wow, that's cool.
The little girl, the one that I told you, I don't know what her voice sounds like, but that was the voice that I heard, and it almost sounded like it came out of me and
In their
maybe
voice.
what her voice would be like. You know.
So when you first went for your first kind of consultation and you sat with Amie, you know, is it like worry that there's, okay, what am I going to do with this? Is it, I want to harness this, I want to help people? Was that the first thing? And then what did you get out of it? Was it creating structure in the way that it happens? Is it being able to open up your mind at times and close your mind at other times? Is there like a certain, like, what was the process of going through a mentorship in mediumship?
So when I first went to her, what my thought is, Amie, I'm going nuts. I do not know what's wrong with me. Something's going on. I need your help. Once I started talking with her, it was still hard for me to understand because there's no certificate saying you're a mediumship.
Right.
So how do you go from an office manager to a body sculptor to a medium? Like, you just don't do that. It just doesn't happen. And it took some time for Amie to get that through to my head that it does happen. And it did happen is pretty much what she said. So then from there, we have a really awesome game plan that she's really supporting me, and she's really helping me build my self-confidence in my mediumship right now. She even helped get me the job at Mojave Community College doing the reading. I think it's every other Wednesday, starting on the 31st at the Grand Canyon Brewery.
Yeah.
And I mean, anything I need, I'm like, Amie. I mean, I say that this is like giving a 15-year-old a Ferrari. Like, what are you going to do with this? I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So that's where my mentor comes into play, and we have group meetings at my house, and we have people that sign up, and she teaches them and teaches me as well, because I had no training.
Right.
There was no book to read. There was no, hey, heads up. This voice that you hear is not yours. And I really thought that I was going insane. And I always remember the one session with Amber that I had where I teleported back into a little girl, and I kind of snapped myself out and grabbed her shoulders and was like, did he hurt you? And I'm just crying on Amber. What Amie said about that was her soul and my soul were so connected that her soul wanted to show me what it was going to be like. So when I go out and I do other readings, I'm not shocked like that. Like, it was the shock factor.
It's like practice in a sense. Yeah. And how long have you been doing, or how long, have been doing this, or when did it strike you?
I've been learning about this since I was 28. So I had experiences when I was younger, but at that time it was you don't talk about that because nobody knew about it.
Right.
And it was all fear-based. And I knew stuff was happening, but nobody to talk to. I mean, I'm talking like when I was 8, 9, 10 years old.
Yeah.
And so when I was 28, a book was given to me by Sylvia Brown, and it just opened a whole array of information that really resonated with me, and I needed to know more about it. But what I would say is I was learning it and at the same time finding out that my son could see auras. Whoa. And then found out he could see spirit. So he was like 3 when I read the book. By the time he was 6 is when we found this stuff out. So I needed to ingest as much as I could so I could help him. But really, in learning what I did and following that journey, it helped me. So he showed up to help me. That's my story. But it just took me down this path that knowing that we're not just a physical body and this is the only life.
Right.
That didn't make sense to me when I was younger. And when I started learning about this and how spirit's energy, and we have this vehicle, we use this vehicle to have a life experience on Earth. When we're done with the vehicle, we trade it in, right? We move on. Energy can't be created or destroyed, so that makes more sense to me.
Right.
So I channel more information when I'm teaching. I get on this roll, and then somebody will say, well, can you repeat that? And the answer is no, because I don't even know what I said. So I tell people, take really good notes when you come to my class and help each other out, because I don't retain everything that I have just said in the class.
And when you spoke in the voice of, I remember you were saying like someone like played a recording of you doing it, and you're like, I don't even remember saying that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
So that's something that's pretty typical then.
I haven't let Amie hear that yet, I don't think, the little girl.
No, but a lot of times people who are mediums will end up channeling. So they're actually channeling, whether it's a deceased loved one, or it's an angel or an ascended master, which would be like Jesus, Buddha, Kuan Yin type of thing, even Mother Teresa. You kind of, it's not that you are separating from your body, but you're just kind of taking a sidestep while that energy, and that's the thing people want to understand, is that spirit's not just like taking over. It's energy. It's just an energy coming in to deliver a message.
Yeah. And with children, because most people, I think, believe that like animals and kids are more sensitive to energies. So that's true from what you've seen then.
Yes. So when you're in a room with a dog, typically, and a dog just goes over to a corner and stands there and just looks like, they get that curious look, right? Or barking, there's nothing, not even a fly, but they're sitting there barking at something. It's energy. It's just there's an energy presence. And children, because they're so close to their spirit coming into the physical form, that they're still very close to the higher frequencies of spirit. So really, they're still connected to Source, God, whatever word you want to use. And it's our human experiences that clouds that. So based on what the abuse, the abandonment, the judgments, all the stuff, that starts clouding our connection to our spirit. But we all have a spirit and body. Even the people that you think are the worst people on earth, they still have spirit and body, and it's still a light. It's just very dim.
That's interesting.
The other thing that I wanted to see if you would touch base on is spirit is with us. Why aren't they in heaven?
Oh. Well, I guess...
Say more.
So someone asked, well, if they're with us, why aren't they in heaven?
Okay.
Are they stuck here on Earth? Or
that's what the question is, and I know what I say, but
what is your
I think
take
Amie
on
can explain it a little bit better, because she's the one who told me.
So energy's everywhere. And it's omnipresent, omnipotent, all the stuff, right? So so think about it. If you pray to Jesus, you think Jesus is just with you.
Right.
Out of all the billions of people who could be praying to him, it's an energy. And energy can be anywhere at all times.
Anywhere and everywhere.
Right. So a loved one could be with Lynn, speaking to her, and also visiting grandma in another state.
Right. And
being with her. So it's
not in the clouds being a physical heaven. That was just a way for people to kind of try to understand it. But technically, it's everywhere.
Yes.
All the time.
It's like a veil.
I like that.
It's like a veil. They're just on the other side of the veil.
You're still in the same room, but you just don't see it right then. Yeah,
so,
that's a cool way to
we
put
put things in perspective of physical.
Yeah.
If I'm here, I can't be over there.
Right.
And the energy and spirit doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah.
So it's similar. So another way to think about it is, you have your cell phone or the TV or radio, you know those waves, that energy is coming through and operating all of that, and your expectations when you pick up your phone, it's going to work. Well, that's all energy.
Yeah.
So same with spirit.
Yeah. What are some so you're very new on this.
It's
How long
13 weeks yesterday.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Happy anniversary.
I know. Thank you. There's that 13 again.
So
13.
we'll start with because you've been doing it for so long. What? And I know there's probably a bunch, but can you maybe think of one instance where you were doing a reading where it just knocked your socks off, where it was such validation, such strong validation, and maybe not in that moment. Maybe you did a reading and then later there was validation of that. What was one instance that you can think of that really kind of stands out, from the last X amount of years?
I think what for me most of it is just when I'm whether teaching a class or doing a card reading, and I just say a name, a name I would have no association with, not even John. You might say John because it's a pretty common name, but if I come up with some name that I would not use, and somebody says, "Oh, that's my uncle, that's my brother, it's just things like that surprise me every time. So, but I wouldn't compare myself to what Lynn does.
Oh, okay. So there's different.
I would say I'm just very knowledgeable about the processes that I could mentor in it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah, so there's different levels of
different ways.
mediumship. Different people handle the energy differently, and they can interpret it differently.
Right.
So for you, you've already had so many cool validations that you've shared.
One of the most wild ones that I encountered, my friend actually set me up, and what she said is, "Hey, I have a friend who's suffering. I'm going to pay for her to come see you. Her name is we'll say Rebecca, okay?" And I'm like, "You got a friend other than me?" I know, right, Amber? I feel you over here. So I go ahead and I put this Rebecca down, right? And this girl walks in. She has long brown hair, whatever. I've never seen her before. She walks into my room. I hear brother. I hear road. I'm like, woof. I'm frozen. I was frozen for probably about an hour before she showed up. I could not warm up. She comes in, I hear brother, I hear road, and I'm like trying to do a speech, let them know, I'm new at this. If I say hike, but it's bike, please understand, I'm still having hearing problems. I'm still trying to hear these people, these spirits speak to me. And the brother just kept going at it. I'm the little brother. I was like, whoa, okay, hold on. I said, we just got to jump into it. So after I tell her what he's telling me about how he passed and everything, it resonated, the whole thing with her, the whole thing. And I was like, okay. She goes, do you want to know a little bit about me? And I'm like, yeah, sure. She said who she was, and I was like, okay. And then she told me she worked with my husband. And I'm like, okay. I mean, it's a pretty big place where he works. So I was like, okay. And then she said, my brother was the one who was killed walking across 66. And that's who you've been speaking to.
Wow.
And it floored me.
Yeah.
Because we had a good hour conversation. And I could not put the two and two together that he was walking across, going to Taco Bell, even though he said Taco Bell.
Oh, how funny.
That he was hit walking across the street.
Yeah.
And to this day, she tells me I light up a room when I walk in with her in there. I took her, and it wasn't me. I say it was spirit. It wasn't me. I never take credit for healing nobody. It's not me. It's you and spirit. It's between you two, not me. I'm just like the person who comes in and just gives the message. That's all I am. She went from not being able to get out of bed, not being able to take care of her kids, her house, her husband, whatever. She just works, goes home, goes to bed and cries. And now she's up. She was able to host New Year's. She hosts Christmas. She's up out of bed. She's joining our group sessions at my house for healing and stuff like that. So things like that floors me.
Yeah, and that's such a, I guess, a big difference in the types of people that you probably work with. Some are needing closure.
Yeah.
Some are needing validation that there's something more. Some maybe are just like the lady, like, oh, yeah, she comes all the time.
Yeah.
They just like the communication on a frequent
Yes.
basis, feeling like they're still present.
Yes.
So it's interesting how there's so many different ways that people are going to be wanting and needing this type of, thing.
Right.
Which is, so when you talk about warming up, so kind of go into that, like, so I'm sure that was part of maybe your guys' original talk, like, okay, this is the system that you can
Yes.
start using to help
Yes.
with this. What is the process of getting ready for a session?
So what I do as I'm waiting for my clients to come over or before I go there, I try to just take a few minutes and meditate, and I use what Amie tells me, how she taught me how to ground myself, because I'm so everywhere I don't even know how to ground myself. I don't know how to calm down in order to be grounded. So she taught me how to ground myself. So I do take that couple minutes and just ground myself, be in my moment. And then once I take a few deep breaths, try to relax, I like to start taking little notes to say, okay, who's here? Who's with me? Who wants to speak to Amber or whatever? And I start taking notes. I want a little heads up. I got something to play with. I know who's here. I know what they want to talk about and things like that. If I don't have any heads up, then I just kind of like look at them and just try to see what their soul tells me. But other than that, that's where Amie comes in with the training that she's teaching me, is how to drive this Ferrari.
Right. Yeah. That's got to be challenging. So how many people do you think you've mentored through, them first approaching you to now they're maybe, and do people, do they always want to go out and help other people, or do some people come to you and they just want to understand it better themselves for their own reasons and their own communication?
I've taught intuition development classes for several years, and I've taught, along with that, mediumship classes. So
I like that intuition, that's cool.
yeah,
Okay.
so
Similar,
just to identify that intuition and psychic are synonymous. But when people say I'm psychic,
yeah,
there's people look at you like, really?
right.
How come you haven't won the lottery? How come you
Yes.
didn't know this was going to happen, right?
Right.
Well, we're still a spirit and body, and we have our own experiences that we need to have.
Right.
And we don't know what our own storyline is. And so we still have to live our life and learn. So teaching classes, a lot of times it's just people wanting to understand it more. When it comes to mentoring, Lynn has been the first to take from beginning of craziness to to now. So
That's cool.
But I've been teaching classes about grounding. Grounding is just bringing yourself into your body and into the present moment. We want to be grounded to the earth and to what I call the heavens above. I say heavens above just for energy purposes, to bring those two energies into the body. So from the crown chakra and from the feet. Just to really get us settled into the body and be present. So when you're working with energy and mediumship and spirit, you can get very airy in your head, like too woo, you're like lightheaded, and it's just a weird sensation, and you're not like present, if that makes sense.
Okay.
They drain you. They drain your energy
Can
bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
And
And
they
so
want your attention.
Yeah.
And so she talks about Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael is the archangel of courage, protection, and strength. But the way I teach with that, because protection is to like a negative, like I'm preparing myself for something bad to happen. It's calling in Archangel Michael with a blue bubble to help me maintain my energy. Meaning there's this blue bubble around me, so I'm not absorbing other people's energy. And if I do, I'm aware of it and I can maintain my energy, which means I have the control to shift that. So in my own life, I call him in to help me have courage, confidence, and strength to show up in my day, just to face my day.
Yeah.
So
Which can be challenging.
yeah.
Everybody's life is going to be a little crazy. She deals with bugs and stuff every day. She's like, I got to go out there and battle scorpions. Yeah. So, cool.
So once I get grounded and I start trying to tap into your spirit, like by looking at you or just trying to get your spirit to start talking to me, then I start doing the reading and I start taking down notes. And I do start to talk like to where you're like, are you talking to me? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just saying what I'm saying, you know, because I don't even know sometimes what I'm doing. Once you just start going in there, you kind of don't know. Yeah. Like when Amber's baby came through, I was trying to figure out why I kept seeing two. It wasn't two babies. I said it was Gemini, so Gemini would be two. And so it wasn't twins, it was a Gemini.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
So there's like symbolic stuff that starts to happen.
Yeah.
That you're trying to relate to that.
Yeah. So they'll show me, like sometimes, like I was reading Mike the other day, and I didn't know if it was, the wagons from like the early 1900s. I didn't know if it was a wagon or if it was a tent. I couldn't tell. I still can't tell if they were wagons or tents. I just know that they were white with a little opening here. So I wasn't sure if it was like wagons that they came here on or they had tents that they set up. I wasn't exactly sure.
And for you guys, I think we talked a little bit. Were you skeptical in the beginning? And if so, like, was it the very first validation that changed it, or did it take a bunch?
So for him, he was.
He's like, okay.
Until last week. Actually, earlier this week, I was
not on board yet.
Yeah, not a believer for sure.
Right.
And also very reluctant to let her say anything for fear of what would be said.
It's true too.
I didn't want to be thought of as a failure or I didn't want all this bad stuff coming on me, and I definitely wasn't ready for that.
Right.
And in fact, there's a lot of times that at our house or at work, I'll tell them, I don't want to stop. I don't want to hear it. Talk to Amber. I'll go in the other room, or whatever. And then other times, she would say things, and it was becoming more and more intriguing and interesting. And then when she started reading Amber, and Amber's like, wow, she knew stuff that she had never even told me.
Wow.
So I couldn't have ever related to Lynn, and so it was like, well, she's pretty on. So the other day I finally gave in.
It was awesome.
And said, and there's other things too that she would tell me that something was going to happen, and then it happened.
Ooh, okay.
Exactly. I mean, same things would happen at this time, and they would happen to the minute that she said they would happen. Yeah.
That would start getting a little crazy.
For me, I was, when she came to the house to cavitate me, and she's like, she had avoided me for about 2 months. And I was like, what is that? She was going to cancel that night too, and I'm like, yeah, I really need cavitating. I didn't. But I knew she needed something. Something's going on. 2 months have passed.
Right.
She's canceled every week. There's something up, So either I did something and it's time to make it right, or she needs something, and so. And then when she told me, and I was like, okay, let's do it. If this is a thing, show me it's a thing. And the minute we were done, I said, who you have to reach out to, which is Amie. Yeah. I know nothing. I can't help in this department. I feel for the helplessness you're feeling with this. And this is the only person I know, because Amie's helped me in my personal life. And we've known Amie a lot. Well, I've known Amie 13 years. So this is the person that can guide you to what you need and how you need it, and that's how those two ended up helping each other too. But me, I'm game for anything. As long as I don't get hurt too bad, we're a go.
Yeah.
Can Can I just throw in there that,
Yeah.
like Mike was talking about, being scared about the information that might come through.
Yeah.
That letting people understand that when spirit leaves the physical body, it returns to me, and what makes sense in my head, back to pure love and joy. Mm-hmm. And so it doesn't have the attachments to the experiences that happened here. Mm-hmm. So if you think about it, spirit comes into the physical body to learn, to grow from whatever experiences they have, and then return back into that pure love and joy essence, which to me is source or God. And that's where, like, we judge ourselves the most here.
Right.
I think people are starting to understand that. My understanding, I don't have proof of it, but again, I say things that make sense to me. So I'm not here to change anybody's belief systems. But my understanding is that when we return back to spirit, there is a form of judgment, but it's our own judgment. And we get to view all the experiences we had. We get to feel those emotions. We get to feel the emotions of everybody affected. And from that perspective of spirit being in pure love and joy, then we have that at that time is when that healing process could happen, when you have somebody like Lynn who can deliver those message to say, hey, I'm sorry for this, for doing this to you, or I'm sorry for not being there for you, or I'm sorry, and bringing those healing practices in. And then that's where the huge responsibility comes from whether what I do or what Lynn's doing or any other medium is learning how to help people in that moment where they're feeling that relief and wanting to heal. So learning to guide them through that. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah. It was kind of like when you were talking about you were working with a lady and she started crying and you didn't know why.
Yeah.
So then, her helping you, okay, this is how you handle, this.
Yes.
And your perspective on the way energy is actually my perspective when I was probably 9 or 10 years old or 11 years old. So my mother is a retired minister from Episcopalian Church. And my dad, who passed away, like I told you, about 8 or 9 years ago, he was a deacon, but he was in the Air Force for, 22 years. And when I was like 10, I remember telling my mom, like, well, I don't believe in heaven and hell. I call them souls at the time, and I was like, I believe in souls, and I believe that if a soul is created by this God or this source, like you're referring to, then it is pure and it is good, inherently good. And I was like, and I believe that once it goes into the human body, of course, everybody's different. And my example at that time was, well, I think that someone like Hitler, once he died, I believe he went through this moment of all of those emotions, the guilt, the consequences, and like you're talking, it's so similar when you were explaining it. Like that's how I remember telling my mom that that's how I believed, because I didn't believe in hell. I refused to believe in it, and my couple other examples. It was the people that we all had grown to hate, the terrorists and all these bad people. But another example was, well, what if a Down syndrome child accidentally kills somebody, or intentionally kills somebody, not knowing that they were killing somebody.
Right.
There's so many other like mental handicaps and things that happen to people that wasn't necessarily by their choice. And does that mean they go to hell? And so my argument to my mom was, well, it means that they don't. It means that nobody goes. And it's because if souls are created by God, then they're pure. And when they go back to that form, they realize, what had happened, and they have perspective. And really similar is the way I thought it through. And my mom, I remember her kind of just being like, that does make sense, Steve.
Nice.
That does make sense. And so they were really good about, I have my beliefs and they have theirs. But yeah, it's a really, I think that, and like you said, it's like the logical to you. So it makes sense to you and the way you explain it. And that's what I had always considered it to be about. Like the heaven, earth, all of this stuff is about this energy that I think is righteous and good, inherently, love and happiness. And that's the best way to think of it, I think, which I like that's the way you put it as well.
You have to figure, too, that everything that we've been operating by has been generationally handed down. Mm-hmm. So what we're learning these days weren't available when I was growing up.
Right.
and definitely wasn't available to our parents or grandparents or anything else.
Right.
And so now we're evolving into learning that we have a loving essence that's already in us. It's innate. We just need to learn how to let it be more powerful than all the anger and the hate and the jealousy and the criticism and judgments and all that. So,
Yeah. What are you thinking? You're taking notes over there. So I was like,
No.
I saw the pen.
Just because, I mean, I kind of heard real quick, like, I heard your father jump in real quick, and kind of like what he was trying to jump in when you were talking about beliefs is, even though, like, the way he sees things and the way you see things, he doesn't say you're wrong. He's not saying you're wrong. So he's not like, oh, you're wrong. He's, I don't even know how I'm trying to say this. He's pretty much supporting you, saying you have a valid point. So maybe like you thought that because you didn't do their way that they looked down on you or but he's saying that's not the way.
Yeah, good.
Is how he's kind of like jumping in. I don't know if I'm saying that wrong, obviously. I feel a little discombobulated trying to say what he said, but it was kind of like a quick blurb, like, nope. No, just because you have your own beliefs doesn't mean that because they don't match his doesn't mean that they're wrong.
Right.
And he still supports you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, they're very open when it came to that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, which is good. A lot of people don't have that, and they have parents that are like, this is the way it is. If you don't believe this, get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were always very open about everything.
Yeah, but this whole thing it's been a journey. It's been pretty amazing, very draining. It's very hard to find my energy. Amber always tells me, Lynn, you gotta get grounded. You gotta get grounded. Let it go. I mean, I get to go up to her house. Mike builds a fire, and I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. And I just sit here, and we just enjoy the evening. You know, it's sometimes I just need that downtime. And like my mom, she's like, hey, can you come over? I'm like, Sunday afternoon, I'll have a minute. And this was, a few days ago, just because I'm just so busy. But I love it. To me, it's amazing hearing spirits and hearing the stories. And like with Mike, they show me the history. Like his family was here from the early 1900s. So I get to see what his family got to see. Big ranches. So it's like all of Kingman was this man's ranch, and he's showing me the horse with the wagon on the back, and the journey. To me, it's just amazing to see things like that, as well as our day-to-day stuff. Seeing the death and the murders aren't that fun, but it comes with the territory.
Yeah. And that's probably part of that mentorship, is how do you handle it yourself?
Yes.
Because that's one thing. I mean, it's probably tolling, like you're saying, not just tiring, but it might give you anxiety. It might give you these things. So how do you cope with that? It's got to be a big part of learning the craft of.
There's quite a bit of heaviness because, I mean, if you think about it, people come to her because of death.
Right.
Right?
Right, inherently, yeah.
And they're sad, and they're trying to regroup themselves to be able to live and go on.
Yeah.
And so just mentally and emotionally it can be draining.
And being an empath, I suck their energy to begin with.
We just take it
So
on.
I take their energy being an empath, which we've already identified that many years ago, that I was an empath. So I take people's energy. So when you come in and you feel sad and stuff, I pick up on that very quick. And then I become that. And then I'm drained because of that. So now you take that and you put the mediumship, then you put the spirits that, I don't want to say go inside me, but they
Channel in.
I know, right,
Your energy.
Amber?
You absorb.
You absorb. I absorb their energy. Then I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm tired, and there's not one more step I can take because I'm
Right.
just like, I got to go lay down.
It's like an introvert having to be an extrovert for a party, and it just sucks all the
Yes.
energy right out of them. Like,
Yeah.
A lot of people think I'm an extrovert because they see me out at things, but I am not at all. My mom still thinks I am, which I'm like, Mom, listen, just because I go out and do things, I go to chamber events and mixers, and I can speak in front of people.
Right.
It sucks all of my. I feel like I ran a marathon when I get home. I'm just so tired of it. And I did retail for so long. I owned retail stores, so I was constantly having to be this person in front of people all day, and then you go home. So I'm guessing it kind of feels like this.
Yeah.
Like some of your energy goes with them, and you're like,
So think like the energy of a crowd at a party.
Yeah.
It's usually pretty high, right?
Yeah.
And the introverts, I have an introverted background too, and I totally relate what you're saying. And so it is draining.
Mm-hmm.
So now you think about spirit, we're the densest energy. So then when we transition, and typically don't say die or death, we transition because our energy is just transitioning from the physical back to spirit, that now we go into the space of a higher vibrational frequency. And then, so now a human is connecting with that higher vibrational frequency to deliver the messages. It's the same thing as an introvert going to a party.
Right. Yep. Yeah. That would be rough. That would be definitely rough. So with MCC, which I thought was pretty neat. So it's categorized as like a lifestyle. Is it called a class? Are they calling it a class, or is it like a session? And the idea behind it is just pretty much people who want to either A, learn how to do that because maybe they have the same type of ability, or is it B, they're people that want to connect with other people who have transitioned? What are the classes? Just so people who...
The way that I see it, it's they want to connect with people who have transitioned.
Okay, so that's...
I don't think that, because they did talk to me about me wanting to teach this, but how can I teach it when I don't know it? That would be Amie.
Okay.
I don't know how to drive this Ferrari.
Right.
I can't get out of first gear.
So that's cool.
Still trying to work the pedals.
Right? I am.
And that was one thing you were worried about is the environment. It's going to be your first time at Grand Canyon Brewing in an area where there's people talking and noises happening, and so this is going to be kind of a...
It's great practice.
Yeah.
Yes. So So we went to lunch. I went to lunch with Mike and Amber on Monday to check it out. And I'm walking past people and I'm hearing, this person's mother passed, or this person had a miscarriage and their baby wants to come through, or this grandfather's over here, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, let me just get past, because it's like they just, it's like not names, but like titles, like grandma, brother, whatever.
Oh, right.
As I'm passing by, I'm being shouted out what they are. I don't know why it comes through like that to me, but that's how they come through, is they're yelling what they are. So like in the movies, sometimes historic places there's more people there. So is there a geolocation type thing that you've ever noticed? Like you've walked into maybe a church that was built in the 1900s, or you went to the courthouse, or and did you feel things that were more older spirits, like in a sense, and more of them? Like, is that something that actually happens? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the downtown
time.
is,
yes,
I think, where Kingman was kind of founded, in a sense of where that's where all the shopping, the retail, and the courthouse and all that. So that I would think down there's going to be a lot more older souls per se.
Yeah.
That are. Like,
and that's what I was telling them. I had to go back in the car because I was standing outside.
Yeah.
And Beale Hotel was like right in the parking lot right there.
Right.
And I was just drawn, and I felt like so much emotion looking at it. I'm like, but it's a hotel. Like, I don't think there's any death in that hotel. But come to find out, they told me, because Mike's been here forever, yes, there has been a lot of death in that hotel. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, you had asked earlier about her, can she shut it down?
Yeah.
Your question.
Yeah.
That is learning to create a boundary with spirit. That, you have the open sign and you have the closed sign. And she's still navigating that process.
Yeah.
Especially being out in public like that, or around a lot of people, is to say, doors closed, closed signs up.
Yeah.
We can do this another time type of thing. So that's still something she's navigating, which is expected at this time.
Walmart? Oh God, no. I can't.
There's too many people.
Yeah, I can't. I cannot. There's no way. Like I pretty much, and it's not that I have anxiety. It's just that like there's like it's their voice, so they're the ones talking. But then you have their other loved ones, brother, aunt, uncle, just coming around, and I'm just like, okay, let's go. And it's not for me to walk up and be like, oh, hey, by the way, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, bite my lip. And I was at
Uncle said, don't buy that.
Yeah, right. I was at a shop here downtown. We're not downtown. That was weird. I just saw myself downtown. Anyway, I was at a shop downtown, and I heard that the lady was having a hard time because her grandmother passed away. And I was like, what? And this is like right when it's right in the beginning of this. I didn't know what to do. I haven't even had my meeting with Amie yet. So I go stand by this person to see, is it this person? Nothing's coming through. I go stand by that person. No, nothing's coming through. I go stand by the cashier, and it's the cashier. And I can't blurt it out because you look like a freak. I just want to pay for my lip gloss. I just want to pay for my lip gloss and get out of there. I know what $10.50 looks like, but guess what? I couldn't tell you what it looked like for nothing. I reached in. I think I grabbed 15. I put it on the counter, and I told her, keep the change. I ran out of there so fast.
Wow.
And we were there. Nope. I never was able to confirm or deny what that feeling was, but I could not get my fingers together to get the money out of my my wallet.
Was it the feeling of
I want to tell her.
Feeling like where it was like anxiety almost. Yeah.
Like the grandmother was like, she just needs to hear.
Yeah.
She just, and I'm just like, she needs to hear what? I gotta go.
Right.
Because like I said, I haven't even talked to Amie yet. I don't even know what's going on with me. I don't even know if I talked to Amber at that time. To be honest with you, I don't even remember. No, this is when we were picking up some desserts. Let's just leave it at that. So I'm not pointing out the actual shop. But so with that being said, when I was waiting for Mike and Amber, I went into a different shop, and it was like the girl had miscarried a baby or something, and then she's carrying that guilt, and I felt that guilt. But what do? Just walk up to her and be, nope, I ain't saying nothing. I gotta go. So I couldn't even finish finding what I was looking for because I had to go.
Yeah.
And that's me and my ego wanting to say, hey, I got something to tell you.
Right.
So I just keep it to myself and go. And sometimes that's the hardest part, is because there's just so many trying to come at me and say something.
You should do like those Craigslist misconnections. Have you heard of that?
No.
It's like a category on Craigslist. It's like where
Craigslist is bad for you. Nothing good comes out of Craigslist.
And it's like if you were like at a place and you saw someone or they did something nice for you and you wanted to thank them, or I thought you were really cute. You go on to misconnections.
Oh, mercy Lord!
You literally put like, you're the person wearing the blue shirt and the red hat. I wanted to say thank you for paying for my coffee or something like that. And if they happen to go on there, they might see it, and then that's how people connect. Misconnections.
Wow.
That goes
I never
back.
go on there. So
Okay, we need something. We need something away from that out of Craigslist. Okay.
You can create a new one. Mediumship connection.
Yeah, there you go.
So people are like, I wonder if I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
It
does get pretty wild. And the way that sometimes spirit comes through, they don't come and just be like, hey, I'm so-and-so.
Right.
It's like, I gotta figure out what this pattern is. And today, Amber and I had to go through this pattern. I'm not going to talk about exactly what happened, but we had to go through this pattern when it was like, what? Just say who that was. Like, you had us going over the river and through the woods to figure out it's just this.
Yeah.
It was a big old session. So sometimes they don't just come straight out and say,
this is who I am to this person. Yeah, you have to try to figure it out.
You got to go.
The tree.
Yeah.
The tree.
Tell her it's like Pictionary.
Yeah.
They're holding up a water bottle and pointing at it, and she's just got to get.
Yeah, seriously. And it does come through sometimes like that.
Yeah.
So it's a discernment. You can't teach discernment.
Yeah.
But she's and all of us do it. We are explaining things from a level of understanding that we have. And her level of understanding is based on her experiences in life. And so if she's given a picture or shown like a red rose,
Right.
well, what is how does she identify a red rose? What does that mean to her? Then that is where she would deliver them. If it's love, well, I'm getting a red rose. To me, that means love. So this person loves you deeply, or whatever that message is. And so I call it your intuitive dictionary. And you just have to start keeping a journal. You could keep a journal of things that come through, and then see, like even with your dreams, you could do the same thing. So write out your dreams and then see how it unfolds as you move forward, how you interpret it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not like they're just saying, "Hey, this is Uncle Joe, and I want to let them know I'm sorry for this or did that." No, it doesn't work that way.
And I think I'm in steps. I think I'm in steps because they're not showing me quite yet how they passed. Like sometimes they'll show me their heart, or sometimes they'll show me like their head, things like that. Or they couldn't breathe. Sometimes they'll show me that, but like if it's tragic, they're not showing me that yet. I think it's in steps, and that's within time. When my soul, I guess, is ready for that, when I'll start seeing when the, like Teresa Caputo, I'm tasting blood. Who got hit in the back of the head? I'm like,
oh yeah, that much detail.
Grandpa over here.
Right. Yeah. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Has anything happened while we've been sitting here that triggered things to you?
It's just right now, it's just your dad. I just keep taking notes of what he's saying because I don't want to cut you off. Because what I do is I try to just do the one reading and then do the one reading, and I try to go around the room, kind of like a classroom, like a kid, and we're focused on you, because if not, then it's just a plethora of somebody, I'm going to throw out a line and somebody grab it, So I like to know I'm talking to you, so whoever wants to come in and talk to you, they're coming in and speaking. And it's crazy for me because it's like it's almost the same, like when you have the reading, you got the father, the brother, the uncle, the dad, the mother, the aunt, and it's like after a while I'm like, wait, the last session, we just had a mother and an aunt over here. Now I got a mother and an aunt over here. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So it's just repeating. So then after a while, you're in your own head like, is it really the mother? Is it really? Like, are we talking to the father again? We just talked to a father, So that's what makes it, God, we're just repeating ourselves. But think about it. We only got how many,
I know,
we got aunts, uncles, brothers, so that's going to
have multiple
repeat.
generations. So you could be dealing with 5 sets of aunts that are going back generations.
So it could be a mother figure.
Right.
So could it be an aunt, who is actually a mother figure? So the mother figure energy comes through, not an aunt energy.
And that was the one from last night where it was the mother figure who was the aunt that came from California, and he's like, nope.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I noticed, what is the garment thing?
Oh, my.
What is that?
So this is cashmere. It did come from Jerusalem.
Oh, neat.
Aziza, who works at one of these salons, I can't, what is Devin's salon? Above Beauty. Oh my gosh. Anyway, she went and she brought back a whole bunch of shawls. And this is a shawl. And so I like to just set this up like this. I don't know why. I felt compelled.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
It's a cute little setup, and I have my table, my water, and everything at waist level. If I need anything, it's all right here.
Yeah.
And I'm comfortable, and it's
It's like your office.
Yeah. Because this is my little go-to. I need to take notes because
when things pop up.
Yeah, because when things start rolling, sometimes I don't remember what I said. Yeah. So then if next week we talk and you'll be like, Lynn, we already talked to my dad. Right. Oh, did we? Oh, my bad. You know what I mean? Just because sometimes they're the ones talking, not me. Right. And like I told Mike, it's kind of like, kind of like this. And correct me if I'm wrong on this. So when I hear spirit come through, like the baby, I don't recall saying 95% of that. Right. Not at all. When I heard it, it made me cry because I was like, like, oh my God. So what I was telling Mike is it's kind of like, it's not my story. I didn't come up with this story. I'm just saying what's going on. So it's kind of like, when you were younger and you make up this big, huge plethora of a lie, and you got to try to remember that. Well, when I'm telling story of spirit, it's just coming through like this.
Yeah.
I can't recall or can't remember because it's just coming through.
Yeah.
It's not my story.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So sometimes I don't remember what happened. So I like to either record my sessions and take my notes, or at least take notes. So I have something to reflect back on, because that's the worst thing, is to, bring out, somebody's cousin and they've already talked to them.
Right.
But if they want to talk again, that's not my fault. The cousin has something to say. The lady whose brother was killed walking across 66, he jumps in during the body sculpting session. He's just sitting on my futon, jumping in every so often. And just making his wise comments. They cuss on the other side. I'm sorry, Amie, if you've never heard that, but they cuss on the other side. They have the same sense of humor that they had here, they have over there.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, because personality is, part of who you are.
Yeah.
Well, they'll show up, spirit will show up, so we can identify them.
Right. Right.
As we knew them.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And that was one thing I remember you talking about too, is sometimes they can come back at different ages based on what they want to be showing you. Yeah. So Amber's son. He was miscarried, but he shows himself older than her daughter, but younger than her son. And he says that he's taller than her son, but he's a spirit. How can that be? Yeah. Yeah.
How can he tell me his hair color, his height, everything like that? That was the same one, the Gemini. She said that resembles that baby's father. I'm like, ugh. Like, we're best friends, but we're not into each other's business.
Right.
I don't know the people who's passed in her life and her what's happened medically with her. I don't know.
Right.
And same with Mike. I've worked for them for 13 years or so, something like that. But we never got into our personal lives.
Right.
It's just wild when you find things out of your best friend. It's like, oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. Anything else you can think of that?
I can't think of
that's
anything. My
happening?
mind's like,
Anybody?
whoo, right now. I don't know if
Yeah.
you can tell, because there's like so much spirits around here right now.
Yeah.
And when I start biting my lip, that's my nervous twitch, and I'll rub my nails, and you guys will see that. And when it gets worse, that's when they're really talking really hard. Or I'll sit there, like earlier, they were talking to me, and there was so much to do, and my pen wouldn't even write so much to do, because it was like the person was coming through with so much excitement to speak about what she was talking to me about.
Yeah. How long is a typical session when you do it with somebody? Or
It's based on the client.
Yeah.
So you can do 45 minutes. You can do an hour. I mean, I had a lady have 8 people come through. I was very tired at the end of that one. And that was the one with the aborted baby that came through. And she just had one person after another, verified. And they don't come through, oh, hey, the winning lottery is here, or the combination to the safe is this. You wore yellow underwear 2 weeks ago yesterday. Like, they're not coming in like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, so-and-so is here, and they'll give some tidbit of validation of, how do I know that this is, Father? How do I know?
Yeah.
They'll say, you have that thing up on the shelf. They'll tell me where it's at. They'll tell me, you have a knife in your right pocket, and you have a knife in your right pocket. Things like that I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah.
I would never know, because I'm not in your pocket.
Yeah.
That's
pretty crazy.
So things like that just floor me.
Yeah.
Is when you get, I call that hot fudge sundae. That's what I call, is a hot fudge sundae. I don't want vanilla, I want a hot fudge sundae. And we can't be coming in with high expectations like that, because when we do, that's when I shut down. Yeah. So when we have people who have a little wall up to begin with, and I'm like, let's get some hot fudge. There goes my wall.
Yeah.
Then I got to sit there, regroup, close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, just try to get, I call it centered. I try to get centered, get grounded, and then let's regroup. let's see where we are at to begin with.
Yeah.
So she could come in and say, oh, your dad's here and he says he loves you.
That's so vanilla.
That could be it for any of us.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's no validation there.
Yeah.
But like she said, if she said, oh, well, he's saying he saw you put a knife in your pocket,
Yeah.
how would she know that? Or
Right.
how your house is set up, how would she know that?
Right.
She's never been to your house.
Yeah.
So getting things to where you can actually be validated
Yeah.
that that's who she's talking to.
Yeah, and sometimes that is hard because sometimes, like Amber's grandma just peeking around the corner. It's like, what? Like, grandma's here, but she has nothing to say. She just hangs out. She just wants to. And then when something serious happens, guess what? Grandma came in. Grandma had something to say. But at that moment, the last time, Grandma had nothing to say.
Yeah.
She was talking to me today, and was giving me such unbelievable details of my life and my past. And as she was telling me the story that I lived, I'm thinking to myself, it wasn't on the table, it was on the counter. And she goes, it wasn't on the table, it was on the counter. I'm like, oh, she's just reading my mind.
That would be crazy.
It did. It happened.
It was, it was 30 minutes of very specific details that there's no way in the world she could know about. My wife doesn't even know about them. And she,
Right?
she mentioned Amber in this, and I'm thinking, well, Amber wasn't there. She goes, oh wait, Amber wasn't there. I'm like,
They
did I just say that? No, I didn't say that.
They corrected me real quick. I told him, I was like,
Amber, no. I said, I was told real quick, Amber was not there.
Did you have to? So when you get into that focus and you're nailing things like that, where was it dark? Was it quiet? Were you just in the kitchen? Were you just sitting outside? Does it just happen any time, place? Because I know that sometimes you were saying that like the red frequency thing you need for your body sculpting seems to be some type of trigger. But like with that example, were you just at the house, nothing out of the ordinary? Just
We were at the office.
Okay.
People were walking in, the phone
Stuff was
was
happening.
ringing.
Yeah.
So it could be anywhere.
I think it's getting better where I can actually, like right now, my crutch wants to say, let's turn down the lights.
Right.
But I'm saying we got this.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's been where I just blurt it out sometimes.
How long is the line behind you right now?
Yeah. How many are lined up?
No, there's only about 7 people here right now. 7.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any one specific message from any one of the
So and that's where
you're thinking
I
of?
get in my ego is because there's never that message of, like I said,
Yeah,
the
super.
combination. There's the message of, like I wrote down for your dad earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, so and it's crazy because this is another repeated that happens with almost, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of people. They have the same concern when their loved one passed. So when I sit there and repeat it, it's like, well, we just said that to somebody else. So after a while, it
Sometimes
starts
messages are the
playing
same, but
with
they're
my
just
head.
different.
Yes,
Yeah.
because the person who is still here has the feelings of, did I make them proud? Are they here? You know what I mean? So are they missing the events? You know, so it's the same. So the message that are coming in at me are those messages that the people are asking that Spirit knows. They need the answer, which may be the same that Mike may have, which may be the same that Amie may have. They come in and they tell me. That would be like the message. Or the message is stop. I say bearing that cross. That cross isn't yours to bury. You couldn't stop them from passing. It was just something that happened. Like their heart just stopped. You can't help that. There's nothing you can do. It's not your cross to bear. Their family wants you, like their loved ones wants you to put that cross down.
Right.
And don't carry that burden anymore. After giving that message to the lady says, well, she wants to know, she feels like there's a message from her mom, but she can't tell what it is. And I was like, the mom comes in. I told you. It's no longer me, or mom said. It's, I told you. And I was like, what just happened? So then the mom came back with that message. The grieving, like, this is not your cross to bear. And I don't even know, like, any other words. These are just what they're telling me. Like, don't carry that burden no longer. Let it go. Let it down. Put it down. And you'll feel so much better. I'm right here. I've never left you. Those are the messages that I get.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting to know where the buried treasure is, we're just not going to find that out anytime soon.
Yeah.
Or the lottery numbers. Just saying.
Yeah.
I know. That was a waste of time.
So, but if we want to dive in, I'm ready to dive in.
Dive. I didn't know if you have your feet. Yeah. If you've
Like
got
my feet are wet. Like I can rock
I
and
wasn't
roll.
sure because I never know how this stuff. I didn't know if nothing was going to happen for you. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I thought we were just about to end the whole thing.
No,
He's like,
I was like, well, it's
that
going to
was
happen
fun.
because you can't. I'm sure you can't force things. But so,
Spirit's been with me since they woke me up at 3 o'clock.
insane, yeah.
3. I got 3 going all the, like they wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah.
I don't
I
know.
just want to say something about that. So in those early morning hours like that, that's when everything is the most calm, which makes it easier for connection.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So I've already started taking notes of who
Roll it
wants
out.
to come and give messages already. So
Okay.
with that being said, I already kind of have, I don't want to say a cheat sheet, but I've already spoke to Spirit. So
Yeah.
now I get to give it to their loved ones who
Yeah.
are here. So, but with you, with your dad coming through, so what he said while you were talking, and I didn't mean to cut you off and start writing, but anyway, you feel that he's missing out on your children. Mm-hmm. Yep, he said right here, not missing out on anything. So when spirit passes, they are it's like they're here more now than they were before. So all of, like, the birth of your baby, he was with you. The birthday parties, the celebrations, your achievements with your business, he is with you through this whole thing. He's seeing every achievement that you're doing, and he is identifying everything that you're doing. He is here. The birthday parties, he's here. The celebrations, he's here. So he wants you to know that he's not missing out on anything just because he passed. His spirit,
That's a big thing.
his spirit is always,
Yeah.
his spirit is always with you. He's just said, is the baby like looking off playing somewhere but nobody's over there? Like the baby's cooing over here like, yeah, she's playing with him. That's what he just told me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he said that he plays with your baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many people see shadows, but he's showing me like you think that you see his shadow? Like you see like in your hallway?
I have a picture of him in my hallway, but I've
You
never
don't
seen
feel like you
shadows.
have like
I
a...
don't think so, no.
Okay, maybe that's his
But it's like the
picture that
only
he wants
picture
to
I
show.
have.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know I asked earlier.
What?
There was nothing.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the ashes? Nope, there's no ashes.
No.
Where's the shrine? There's no
Yeah,
shrine.
literally just one
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah. You're making it tough on me here. So, but yeah, especially because he's been passed so long, like you think that he missed on everything, but he didn't. He was
Yeah.
there. He was there. Like I even just was shown your wedding.
The what?
Your wedding.
Like, you'll say, okay, so I was literally just thinking of my wedding because in my... No, like literally, because in my vows and the part I said, I mentioned that, him being like
Yeah.
wanting him to be there.
He was.
Like that was like literally
mind
the
reader.
second I was thinking it, you said it.
Yeah.
That's what happened
Yeah.
to me today.
Yeah, and the birthday parties and things like that.
Yeah.
Because we literally just had my daughter's birthday was 3 days ago.
Yeah.
So like on the 14th. So
Yeah,
I
you
was
didn't even
just
let me
thinking-
get to the birthday cake. Thanks.
I know people talk too much.
I know, right?
They're like,
So-
zip it.
So what
Yeah.
I see is a birthday cake like this. So they put their hand out and they're holding a birthday cake, which shows me that there was a celebration or is coming up for a celebration, and he wants to let you know that he was. So for him, he was there. He was there for the celebration.
Yeah.
I just see, like, I know that you kind of like touched a little bit on like the relationship and the religions and stuff like that, but like he's just showing me like, were you the only child? I just feel like, did you see me shut down just real quick? I hate when that happens. Like you guys had such a wholesome family. Like there's a good families, you know, but you guys are like wholesome family. Like, I'm trying to give you, a very close family. Like, oh God, what am I trying to, oh my God. Like you didn't disrespect your parents. You weren't out to give your parents a hard time. You were a good child.
Up until
You can count on
teenagers.
your family, your mom and dad to always be there for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little craphead when I was a teenager, though. Oof. But once I turned probably 19 or so, like I snapped out of it. It was weird. And then I was just like, wow, I was such a butthead. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was pretty much when I started living on my own, college, and like out of the house, you start reflecting back at just, oh my gosh, I really hope my kids aren't like that.
They will be. Just
Yeah,
Oh, I know. Oh, yeah.
It probably will be.
Yeah.
So this is weird. And this, and I don't know why I say it, this is weird. I always, whatever. Anyway.
It's weird.
So mom didn't remarry?
No.
No, I put mom did not remarry. He's saying that she still keeps his stuff.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what stuff, but yeah, she has a bunch of stuff.
Like clothes in the closet.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what.
She's definitely not going. She's the type. She will never remarry.
Yeah.
She's not interested in that.
She still wears his wedding ring.
You know, it's crazy. Yes, his ring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you misspoke when you said that.
Yeah. No, and she showed me it. I think the last time she was out here, and I was like, oh, and she's like, yeah, well, you know, I'm glad I was able to wear it. So yeah.
Yeah. You showed me that.
Yeah.
He just showed me kissing your mom on her forehead. That's what he just showed me. That he's kissing your mom on her forehead. So sometimes spirit comes in and they start with you, but they kind of detour to the side a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I feel like he wants to kind of just take this moment to let mom know that he is there with her as well. Mm-hmm. Amie already said that the spirit can be in two places at one time. So he is there with your mother as much as he's here with you.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Must have ran out of juice, that one. That's okay. We got other cameras.
Like, well, that's weird. A confirmation.
Yeah.
Wow, that actually freaked me out. Did that battery just die?
It shouldn't have.
Like, did your dad just drain that battery?
Could have, yeah.
Just as, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but electricity is a fabulous way for spirit to come through because it's high frequency.
Yeah.
As Lynn knows from using her body sculpting tool.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So if you've ever had a time where you shut a light off and then you leave the room and then you turn around, the light's on, that type of thing, or the lights flicker, an alarm goes off, but there's no electricity to the alarm, like there's no way it could have gone off, type of thing. It's their way of letting us know they're around too, because electricity is ideal for them.
Certainly when it's timed out, when you're talking about something.
Right?
That should have stayed on. That's a 7-hour battery, and it was fully charged when I started it, so I don't know what happened. I mean, so yeah. Oh well. What if everything else
He's
is
draining
still-
the juice.
He's draining all the juice.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
How's all the other batteries? Yeah, everything else is good.
So, pretty much what Dad's just wanting to take this moment. He was kissing your mom on the forehead just a minute ago before the camera died. And he's just wanting to have you tell her that he loves her. And he says you really don't need to tell her because she already knows. So he kind of is a little bit contradicting himself as he's wanting you to say it, but he says that she already knows. That they have a really strong connection. So she still has a strong connection with him being passed. And let her know that he knows that she has his ring.
Yeah. I think that's funny because like I didn't know this so it's been, I think 9 years now. I didn't know that she was wearing his ring until literally the last trip she made out here.
Wow.
Just recently.
Yeah.
And she mentioned it to me because she brought another ring he had that wasn't their wedding ring. He used to have these gold, he had one gold puzzle ring, those little puzzle ones. And she gave it to me and to hold on to, my mom did. And she had his wedding band. She's like, I wear his actual wedding ring. And so that was the first time I'd seen that.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I would have known. If you had asked me a year ago before, I would have been like, oh, I don't know if she's wearing his ring or not because but she made it a point because she gave me the other ring this last trip.
She's had it, you can ask her, she's had it on like the whole time.
Yeah, I believe that makes sense. Yeah.
Did you just point to a ring?
Does he have a puzzle ring?
Is that the ring that we...
No, not that ring.
No, I know. I'm thinking is that...
This is my great-grandfather's ring.
Oh, okay. I was just going to be like, what? Okay, fine.
And
I thought...
never thought about that when we were talking
Yeah.
about him until
Yeah.
I was just talking about
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah, if you actually watched my wedding video during the vows, right when I mentioned that I wish that he was able to be there, I kind of get choked up a little bit.
Yeah, he said, just right now, he says, was their son?
Yeah.
Was their son, he said. He's not coming in with I'm not getting no hot fudge sundae. It's just pretty much just what, he's given right now.
I think
and
the ring was
That's
huge
a big one.
because
Yeah. And the
The
GoPro
wedding's
going
a-
up.
that's a great, I'm like,
Turning
that's
the
a great
GoPro off.
the
validation.
wedding, right, in the wedding.
Yeah.
But he really wants you guys to know that he's not missing anything. He's right here. He's right here. He's watching. He's playing with your baby.
Yeah.
I would, next time you see that happen, just record it and be like,
Yeah.
dude, right now, this is my dad playing,
Yeah.
and send it to your mom. Because I'm telling you right now, when you see that, it's going to happen over and over. Then you'll have that recording to show your mom.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm so freaking cold. So this is like your biggest accomplishment right now? This right now?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Because what I heard is he's proud of you of your biggest accomplishment, but he didn't say of he didn't say of what the biggest accomplishment would be.
Maybe
other
it's just
than
being married with kids.
I was just
Sorry. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that, or it was
Yeah.
being married and having your kid in your house
Having
and
a
everything
family.
like that.
Because my brother doesn't have a kid, and he's not married,
Yeah.
and it's just me and him.
I can tell you by experience, when you get married with children, this is what happens.
It's happening. It's slowly happening.
So he's kind of like stepping back. Is there anything that you want to ask and see if he'll answer real quick before he
Oh no.
totally?
Yeah. I think maybe possibly too. When the first thing you said, where you're like, "Are you not a single child? What is it called? A only child." Is maybe so. I was adopted, and my brother was adopted as well from two different
Oh, yes.
families because my mother couldn't have kids. So maybe that individualism of me being just so. I
Yeah.
mean, me and my brother are so different too. Like you would have no idea that we grew up together. I mean, almost like exact opposites. It's almost like
So
weird how opposite we are. Yeah. So
He
maybe
was
that's
the
something
wild
to do.
one.
He was, yeah, just extremely, artistic. I mean, he could draw like Todd McFarlane, which if you know, he's a comic artist that did like Spawn and stuff like that. He could draw, and he went through punk rock phase where he did mohawks.
Oh my God.
And bondage pants and eyeliner, and he was just so much different. And I was always playing sports, so we were very different individuals. And I was more like my dad,
Yes.
and George was more like my mom. Not that my mom did that stuff, but George would like,
Did you hear that, Mom?
hey, let's go do something outside. No, I just want to read books. And he was very smart too, and so he was a very book guy like my mom. So me and my dad always did things together, and then George and my mom would talk about The Hobbit and not Guardians of the Galaxy, space. I don't know. There's some Odyssey books and what the heck was that called? I can't remember. But so there was very. So I could kind of see maybe that's the feeling that you got from that.
Yeah.
Like some people would think that I was my dad's real son because I also could tan and I had brown hair like this, and my dad did too. But my mom had black hair and she would burn, which is like my brother. So it was weird. He was very pale, and I was, so it was really kind of like that.
I heard we picked some good ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Did they get to pick?
I don't think so. I think you just go on a list to adopt, and then when they're available, you get whatever's available at that time. I always joked that I was dropped off by a bird.
The way that you just explained that, I don't know. He said we picked some good ones, so that's all I.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I thought he was leaving, but he just came back. But was your mom like the cook? Like obviously, like she was. I don't know why he's taking me in her kitchen, and he wants some dinner or something. I don't know. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do weird stuff like that, but I don't know if he enjoyed her cooking, and that was like a highlight of a day is coming home and from work and get to have some dinner or something. I don't know what it is, but for some reason he just took me in a big bright kitchen, a big open floor plan kitchen.
That could be maybe the house she lives in now. So she moved to a new house that's very open concept.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that.
That's
and the kitchen is in the living. It's like a big, great room with the kitchen right in it.
Open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe that's because she didn't want to stay in the old house where he died.
No. He said, but she took all my stuff with.
Yeah. Which I don't know how she fit it all in because the house is a little bit smaller, and I was just like, "What'd you do with all this stuff?"
He's just telling you that he is proud of you.
Yeah, and he didn't know about anything. Like he didn't. I wasn't doing. I was doing marketing, but not like I'm doing it now.
Right.
I just had my cell phone stores, and and he was proud of that. You know, but yeah, everything else happened way after.
I just heard he blossomed. I don't know why I heard apple eye. Like an apple of my eye or something, apple eye. Tell me it's an apple pie.
Apple pie. Apple pie.
I was just in the kitchen.
Right? Yeah, I don't know.
Should we make an apple pie?
No, not that I remember.
I'm writing that down because if we have to come back.
Do me a favor and find out if your mom was making an apple pie.
Tonight, yeah,
tonight.
that would be kind of crazy. Maybe
Wouldn't
make
that
she
be
didn't text me or
hilarious?
anything. Okay,
We got to FaceTime Mom real quick.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
All right. He says, I'm giving you my love. I'm giving you my love is what he said as he's stepping back right now. So this morning being up at 3 o'clock, I started talking with Spirit, and for Mike, we have a couple mother figures that came in and spoke to me about him. So I'm just going to go ahead and give him his reading about. So the one mother figure who I figured out who it was based on what she has shown me, this is his grandmother. And this is the one that I was saying earlier, that there's so much to do. Call Mike, so much to do. And I just barely was able to write that down because my hand was going so fast. So what she was showing me is like Mike would be at the ranch working, and then they would have to call for, I call it the Ricka house, which is where they used to run the water company out of. So Mike would be at the ranch, has to stop what he does to come help Grandma. And so what Grandma was saying is, like she wanted to thank Mike for always being there for him. Like you never made her feel like she was a burden by asking you for help every time she pulled you and your dad pulled you for other things, that you never acted like it was a burden. You never gave her attitude. And she's talking to me right now, and she wants to thank you for never making her feel like she was a burden, up to including the time that she passed, she just right now said. When she passed, all the times that you had to go back and forth, because Valley Vista is far and stuff. So, but he had to go back and forth to Valley Vista. You never complained about going back and forth. It wasn't like, oh, I gotta go see her again. Oh. It was, okay, let's go see Grandma. So she wants to thank you for not making her feel like she was a burden for that in her final times. Okay. This is something that we've touched on, and I've never heard this before. She said she knew it was you. She said it. She knew it was you. You told me that there was times that you didn't think that she knew who you were.
Right.
She just said in my head right now, she knew it was you. And I've never heard that before until right now. That floored me. She said that you are so dear and near to her, and that she always could count on you. Sorry, I'm getting a little choked up and I'm trying to talk. So pretty much what she's telling you right now is that she is so very proud of the man that you have become and the family that you are, that you have, is what she's telling me right now. And I have never heard that before until right now. And that's very...
I'm not going to cry again.
No. And it's crazy because we did have a 30-minute discussion today, and never did Grandma say that ever. So to me, it's a little choked up. Like, why wait until we get on camera, Grandma, to get me all choked up? But that's what she's saying, is that she's very proud of you and the man that you have become and the family that you have.
It's a lot of kids.
Grandbabies.
Yeah. I didn't think about that.
Why do I feel like she would Why do I feel like she was the starting of the big breakfast? The big breakfast that I saw today. Was it just that other one that did the big breakfast? I just, for some reason, I see her.
Well, you know, being a rancher's wife, she always had to cook big breakfast, sometimes for 30 cowboys.
Oh, that's where that's, yeah, because I just see her in there and there's this so much.
On the stove.
Yep, so much food, so much food.
Mike's family is one of the first settlers of Mojave County. So his
That's
roots are
cool.
deeper.
Yeah.
My family actually came here in the 1850s,
Whoa.
before Kingman was a town.
Yeah.
Everybody settled on the Big Sandy and Wikiup.
Mm-hmm. Jeez.
She telling you I'm wrong, or
No, no,
Like, wait a minute.
no.
I get my information from her book.
Right? The ring that you have on, you said was your grandfather's?
My great grandfather.
The great,
I don't know if it was her dad or her father.
okay.
My-
Because when I was asking Claude, I didn't get nothing. So I was like, wait, hold on. Who'd you say that was? So that was the one that we read yesterday with the, I wasn't sure if it was a wagon wheel or if it was the tent. Okay. Yeah, I was never good at Pictionary. Never good. She's pretty much just kind of like giving you a good, like, how do you say it? I call it like a mother hug. She's just wrapping her arms around you and just giving you, she's a little bit shorter than you. Yeah, yeah, because I'm seeing she comes up to about right here. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So she's just giving you like just going right inside you and just giving you that big hug. And she says, yes, she can walk. I guess she didn't walk, obviously, towards the last part of her time. Yeah. And I just heard her say, I love you, Michael. I always call him Mike. Says, my name is Michael. I just want to make sure I don't retouch up on anything that I already talked about. She's pretty much stepped back. I'm not sure this second mother figure. I want to say that it is on your mom's side. So it would be your mom's mom is kind of what I'm seeing. But there's nothing like, I don't have a message right now. There's nothing. She made herself known and Grandma made herself known. But there's nothing coming in with that. She's just right now peeking in. And I don't know why there's nothing. Maybe it's because it's a fireplace night story. They get their special one-on-one readings in front of the fireplace. Well, now Mike gets to join. Before I wasn't able to say anything.
He would
I was just gonna have you in the other room.
So, this was from the other day, but I do want to just talk about it real quick. Was it the whip? Can I say about how he likes the bullwhip? So I don't know the difference between a lasso and a whip. They both look the same. They're circled, whatever. Anyway, so the dad came in the other night when I was talking with Amber, and there was a bullwhip that was moved. And the dad made it clear that he likes what they did with the bullwhip. And I've been there several times. I never paid attention to this
Right.
saddle that they have right here, and they put it on the saddle. And it looked, when she showed me the picture, I was like, So I just had to talk about that because I just thought that was so neat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a cool little detail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the same night with the pocket, or with the knife, right? Yeah, it was the same night as the pocket knife.
I've been getting his readings
Yeah.
on the side just because they come through in the house
Right.
or when she leaves or whatever. And I've just kept them to myself because he wasn't ready. And then at lunch, he decided he would hear something. And now he's game.
Yeah.
So I did inform him the other night that when I was at his house, that I was able to see his shadow of his dad, the outline of his body. And I thought it was the outline of his, and I'm just like looking to the side, you know what I'm saying? So you just kind of get that aftermath of looking at somebody. So I focused on Amber. She was like at a different part over here. And then I looked past Mike over there, and it was still there. I was like, oh, and Amber, I think she caught on to my reaction because she was like, what's going on? And then he went into the bathroom, and that figure was still standing right there.
Wow.
So I told Amber that Grandpa was, or not Grandpa, well, I call him Grandpa, but it's Mike's dad, was standing on the other side of Mike. So, and now I think it's exciting because now I can share all this with him, and he knows.
I'm a big history buff. I'm just I just want to absorb as much history as I can. I want to travel to places to see stuff, and now I'm going to use her as my
Well,
My history guy.
Right.
so at lunch, Mike was telling us a story because around the property, I feel a lot of energy. Amie has been there. She feels the energy as well. I was not aware of what's about ready to take place. And Mike was talking about, like, what was it called? Mayans?
Yeah, I said a university came and did an archaeological dig on the property and said that it had been farmed by Native Americans
Wow.
for 2,000 years.
Wow.
And we find all kinds of
How
artifacts on
cool.
the property, and we have them displayed all over the house.
That is cool.
And I said I'm not sure because they weren't tribes then.
Right.
They were just either Mayan or Aztec, and I didn't know which it was.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm speaking correctly, but she jumped in and said that it was definitely the Mayans, and drew something that I had never seen before. And I Googled it, and it was exactly what she drew.
Whoa.
It was quite bizarre.
Yeah.
And then I drew another, and I said that did I say something was dug up, something was found or whatever, and then I drew another something,
You
and
still have that on there, on the notes you took, right? The drawing?
no, I did it on the receipt.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's in my purse. So then I did the other drawing, and then when we had our over the phone session, Amber brings this piece. I call it a plate, but it's what did you call it? Pottery. Piece of pottery that was shaped almost to what I just drew out.
Exactly to what she drew.
That's crazy.
And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, to me, it's just beyond wild. So then I was telling Mike, something was dug, something was.
It
was a broken piece of pottery. And it was the very first piece we found on the property when we were looking at to build a house. And it was broken, pottery breaks in a million different shapes. And she drew it like this quick. And every detail of the break was in that drawing. It was quite bizarre.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, but I mean, it's just.
I didn't even remember it like that until Amber went and got it off the mantle or the shelf
Yeah.
and brought it over, and it was even the little cutouts and everything. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So
So it's that was pretty much the stuff that has happened with Mike, which was pretty amazing because, like I said, up until Monday, I was not. He kind of didn't want me to talk like that around him. Not when it comes to him. I mean, he'll listen to everyone else's story. And Eisenhower, he kind of was like, I don't know about that. And then I think he actually saw, okay, wait, that lady is standing next to Eisenhower. Okay. Maybe Lynn's not cuckoo all the way.
All the way.
Just
All the way. Just a little.
Everybody is. It's not just you.
Right.
like attracts
Right.
like, just saying.
So, Mike, I'm going to circle back with you when it comes to the other grandma coming up, and we'll have our own one-on-one with Amber, and we'll go over that at a later date when she wants something to say. I'm thinking it'll be pretty cool. Amie, I don't know why I put brother older heart under you, but if you just want to take a minute to think about that. And
I have an uncle who is like a brother,
I know who that is.
and I don't know. I know I have siblings, but I don't know them. So
this brother figure, uncle, does he have something wrong with his heart? Or did he pass?
no, he's still here.
He's still here? All right, we're just going to keep an eye on him for that, just because I don't know why I'm being told that, and I'm thinking it's being told by your stronger grandma figure. Because I wrote stronger grandma figure. We know you were about like 15-ish is what I'm being seen, and then she just jumped down to brother older in his heart. So maybe your uncle, just keep an eye on him if there's something going on with him on that one right there.
Okay.
Your grandma just said that you got being strong from her. I was like, oh, did she?
Mm-hmm.
How weird. I just heard, what a blessing. What a blessing. She didn't elaborate. That's all I heard in her little voice, is what a blessing. She keeps saying things that we already know. So that's my whole dispute that I'm having right now. I'm like, I need something different. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what she's trying to say. I heard, what a blessing. And then I heard, everything's okay. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. think I got something. I don't know how to word it though. So you know your grandma is your guardian. She watches over you. She's your protector. That's what she told me, that you know that. Okay. Hopefully that was a little bit of sprinkles of whipped cream here. Like I hear calling upon. I'm calling upon.
I have a picture on my fridge, and I talk to her almost every day.
Oh, wow.
And I tell her, come on, Grandma, we gotta get,
You're
I need
calling
some help.
upon her. Yeah. Oh, my God. Because that's all I keep hearing, like calling upon, calling upon.
Tell her I need some help to get through this.
Oh, it's so funny. She just showed me I'm grabbing my purse. Like, for some reason, like, she's grabbing her purse. Let's go. I don't know why she showed me that. That's weird. She got a little handbag. She said that you, okay, she said you were her baby.
I was the favorite.
Yeah, and I mean, she's making me a little emotional too right now. So kind of like what she's saying is, you were just as much everything to her as she was to you. You guys were each other's everything.
Yeah.
And she wants to thank you for that. And keeping her spirit alive every day. All day. She just said all day. It's so weird because I know Crystal's on the other side of you, but your grandma's like over here holding your hand. Can you feel it? You feel the energy on that
I got
side?
really hot a while ago.
Yeah.
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 And she always shows up on the side.
Oh, wow. I love it. She just kissed you on that cheek. Your right cheek. I'm not either. But she also, they are proud of us on the other side. They are proud, and it's like, you know, each reading is almost like the same. They're proud of us. Like the way that I hear from Grandma right now is, how can I not be proud of her? That's what she just said right now. How can I not be proud?
Went through a lot of shit, and I'm still here. So
that's what she said. That's what she said. If you only knew. If you only knew what she had to go through.
And those are the messages we kind of need to hear.
Most of the people wouldn't make it today.
Right.
That's what she said.
Oh, no.
And that's where she says you're strong like her.
She's stubborn.
Yeah. She said, so are you. Yeah. I know I said it just a minute ago. I don't know why she's saying it again. Yes, yes, you make me proud. She said that. Yes, yes, you make her proud. So I don't know if you just asked her that or if you thought that. I don't know why she's saying it again. But I guess she wants to. She's going to repeat herself, okay? Do you get that? Is it here?
I got it,
okay,
I got
good.
it.
Okay.
I heard her.
She said you didn't take a note. Oh, I think she's saying
Which
that
is
to me.
funny because I was sitting here earlier and I'm like, I didn't bring my notebook in.
She goes, you didn't say that. So she's talking to me. Never mind.
I just put 2 times. That's so cute. Oh my God. That is so funny how she was like, you didn't take a note.
Take a note.
I'm all telling you.
Write
She
it
was
down.
like, it's you. It's you, Lynn. Take your note.
That's awesome.
I don't know why right now I'm seeing a white daisy.
Okay.
I don't know if that's your symbol of love. Mine's usually a red rose, so she's giving you a white daisy.
Okay.
Is it in your front yard? We're going to look. I don't know what else the flower could be that could look like a daisy. But just look and see if it's in your front yard, because then I heard front yard after I heard the white flower, the white daisy.
Okay.
Is she coming to you as like coins or something? Why am I picking stuff up off the floor all the time?
Dimes.
Because I'm like, my gosh.
Find them everywhere.
Really? That is so funny.
Oh, interesting.
Right? I was like, why am I bending down picking stuff up off
Just
the
like
ground
a
all the
little
time?
Reminder. I'm just like, oh, how funny.
So, have you been into the, well, one of the gyms here has lockers. Mm-hmm. And you have to bring your own lock and all that, right? Mm-hmm. To go, and there's over 100 lockers, and open one, and there's a dime.
Oh, how weird.
You don't make that up.
Right.
Another time I walked in there, and they have a bench, and I set my stuff down, and I looked down, there were 3 dimes. I've been to the grocery store, the crack in the asphalt, and I'm just walking along, and something says, look down, and I look down, and in the crack, the dime is standing on end. So that is how I find they're just so random.
Yeah. Does the dime itself symbolic of something related with her? Like the number 10 or the just... Or
Well,
is it
now
just
that you say that, just so you know, now that you say that, it reminds me that I do have a bracelet of hers that's made out of old dimes.
Oh my gosh.
I never thought about that before, but yeah.
There
I
you
said
go.
necklace. I wonder if it was bracelet.
I was wondering that too earlier, and I wasn't going to say anything.
Necklace,
Yeah,
bracelet.
they
Those
do.
are 2
It's
different
it's
areas. I don't know.
Old dimes, though.
That's cool because that's very unique. I've never seen a dime bracelet, so it's very unique
Yeah.
to you. Yeah. How fun.
But a lot of times they'll come through with like dimes, pennies, feathers. And, feathers and, walking outside, yeah, whatever.
Right.
But when you find them in like a dime,
Yeah.
that's when they're trying to get our attention.
Yeah.
That's funny because I can't remember the last time I've seen a random dime.
Yeah, right. Me
No,
neither.
only pennies. Random pennies
Everywhere.
places,
Yeah.
but never dimes. I've never picked up a random
Find them
dime.
everywhere.
Wow.
I have a little
Either.
container. It's about this big, and it's got a lot of coins in it, but majority of it is dimes.
You gotta make yourself another bracelet out of them.
Oh my God. Be one of those belts, those fancy
Yeah,
belts
there you
with the
go.
coins.
Yeah.
Obviously, she's stepping back a little bit right now. I guess that white flower was her way of just telling you that she loves you, and obviously we know that she's proud of you because
You made a note,
and she told me to make a note of that.
and she would be that way too.
That's so funny.
Write that down.
Take the note.
Yeah.
I've already said it 3 times. Do I need to say it 4? That's so cute. I just like to thank them after each time they come through. I just take a message and let them know, thank you for coming through. Thank you for the wonderful message. You're free to go with them when they go. I definitely don't want to take anybody with me.
Don't want to be sleeping with
driving down the road. Here's Amber's uncle right here. I'm like, no, you got to get out of my car. And you know how, like, you have a picture, I don't know about your car, sorry. I'm talking to the people in normal cars over here. No, just kidding. No Teslas here. No. But anyway, so mine has a picture of a car, and then it has, like, the lane assist to the side, and it's green.
Yeah.
When I asked the uncle to get out of the car, it turned white.
Whoa.
That was weird.
Yeah.
And then I felt like he was gone, and then I had to let her know, like, oh, my gosh. But I didn't know
wild stuff.
at that time, I didn't know to tell them to stay. No, it went back. It was like as if somebody opened the door and jumped out, but it wasn't the door. It was like the lane assist.
Yeah.
And then the car was green, and then it went white, and then it went green.
How interesting, yeah.
Like he jumped out of the car or something.
Yeah.
It's like, wee.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, Amber's reading. Oh, my God. I wish we would have recorded that one.
Well, that was the first one.
That
where I
was-
said, give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You gave
Yeah,
it
like
to
she didn't
me.
know what was happening.
You gave it to me. Gosh. Okay. We're going to come over here to Crystal here real quick. Not that I'm trying to avoid you, Amber, but you know what? Your people are like, dude.
They're always here.
They're always. They're always. Her grandma is her protector. And the way that I see protector, which I don't know if it's how it is, but the way that I see protector is they like, will show me this. Like you're walking in the store, they're here. They're over the car, they're like this. That's how they show me that they're the protector. And some people, they'll be like your sister and your best friend in this life, and then they cross over, and then they're your protector. Which I don't even know if that's even possible, but that's how I see it, and that's how I portray it. So that's one thing that we've never.
Yeah, they can be with you
embarked on.
there. So when we come in from spirit into a body, we all come in, to my understanding, makes sense to me, with a guardian angel and a spirit guide, and they stay with us through our entire lifetime. Other angels, guardian angels, spirit guides will come in and out depending on the experiences that we're having. And then when our family members or friends cross over, then they can become the spirit that is with us, also helping us and guiding us and taking on that role as a protector, but they're not the main characters, if that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how I see it as well. They're not like one of the archangels. They're not one of the, what did you call it earlier? Guardian angel. Like I say, it's definitely not them. They're just like a little person who's guarding you. Like they're your little guardian.
Like Mama Duck herding her little ducklings.
Yeah.
Her
It's like
chicks.
the mom that's like the hover mom or whatever, you know. It's kind of like what their people are. And not everybody has that.
Right.
Not everybody. I mean, it's just random people do. People who really need it. And then the people hunker down. Like Amber right now, her grandma's just like all over her. Just protecting her,
Our
watching over
grandmas,
her.
huh?
Yeah, but it wasn't like that. It just
grandma
happened. Yeah, it just happened. The grandma wasn't like that before. The grandma was the lurker. Now the grandma's the
Nice.
watch out. Yeah.
And
Okay.
sometimes, I'll just put this out there, sometimes when we're in the physical body and we're going through something that might be like traumatic or heavy, emotionally heavy or something like that, they'll come in. Like grandma coming in for Amber. If there's something happening in her life or getting ready to happen, then they'll come in, kind of like a team, like that, a support
makes
team
sense.
to come in and be like, we're here with you. So that's what my grandfather does for me. He shows up with the scent of cigarette smoke, and it is, I'm not kidding you, it is so strong. I don't smoke, nobody in my house smokes, and I'm usually not around people who smoke, but it will be so strong, it burns my eyes and my throat.
Wow.
And I'll tell him, all right,
You're here.
chill out, right? But he usually comes in, lets me know he's there because of his strong energy. And I know that's like kind of my signal of something's coming up. So I'm here with you. We're going to get through it type of thing. So
And I love that. And we do. What is that? The clairfragrant is when you
right.
So
you
your
can
scent.
you can smell them.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's one thing that we learned.
Clairaudient, you can hear them.
Right.
There's clairvoyance, claircognizance,
Yeah.
clairtangent, clairsentient.
Wow.
So
I didn't know there were
clair
so many
just
different
means
ones.
clear.
Okay.
That's all that means. So clear seeing, clear knowing.
Right.
So like when you say, I just knew that was going to happen, it's a clear knowing. Clear sentience, clear feeling. So most people are feelers, like you feel the energy. And that's my strongest sense. But when you hone in on your strongest sense of intuition, when you develop that and get stronger with it, the rest of them open up. And I can attest to that because I know that for sure. So like the clairaudient, you hear, she says she hears.
Yeah.
It's that voice and something in your head is speaking, but there's nobody out here speaking, right? So
Right.
Oh, there's people here.
yeah, well, they're here, but we just can't see them.
Well, it's crazy because now they're
fun.
coming in like I see shadows now, and I can tell you like where they're
Right,
at and
so
stuff
now you
like
can
that.
see them.
Yeah, like I keep pointing to his dad that's over here, and his dad obviously,
Just hanging out.
which I think is pretty cool. All right, we're going back to Crystal. I know you're excited.
Yeah, I'm a little
Let me
nervous.
clear the way.
I've tried to just take a minute while they're talking about some situations and stuff like that to try to hone in on your dad. I want to hear what he has to say and stuff. So I'm not sure if I'm picking up dad or grandpa. I'm feeling like it's dad. So just be flexible here real quick. Did dad pass pretty quick? Okay. And the way that I see it, like you could not be with him. He went real fast.
Yeah.
And that's something that, is deep in your heart. Like if you would have just not gone here and if you would have just gone there, you would have been there in time.
I didn't
this
think
is
of
the
that.
hardest
Because
part.
I didn't even bring any of that stuff up to you before. So I'm
Yeah.
like, nope, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. Like
Yeah,
she
yeah.
said.
Aw.
She started talking earlier. I'm like, zip it.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is working.
Before you guys got here.
Thank you. No, it's good.
This is probably like the hardest part of my job is when I feel full of love and I'm telling you about someone who's full of love and it makes you cry. And it's like, it breaks my heart because like, I don't want to make anybody cry, but I also have to understand it's not like where you're upset. It's like almost like a sense of relief. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So,
That's part of the healing process,
Yeah.
too.
is it? Lots of tears have been shed in that room, let me tell you. Let's get back over here real quick. Were you at work or something? Like I'm just hearing like I'm hearing you say like if I didn't go to that last job, like you could have not done that and you could have gone over there.
Yeah, like my ex-husband was working and I had to wait until he got home before I could drive all the way over there to see him.
You found him?
No, my uncle did.
Because what he's saying is he didn't want you to see him. Is what he said. He didn't want you to see him. So like everything was against you that day.
Yes.
Everything was against you from going. It didn't matter. Like
Yeah.
if you would have
Traffic on the way from San Diego to LA, it was like bumper to bumper, and it was like a random Tuesday, Wednesday. There was no reason for there to be traffic at 2:00 in the afternoon.
What he's saying is he just did not want you to see him. He didn't want you to keep that memory in your head. what he's saying as out of all of the wonderful experiences you guys had together, that was not the memory he wanted you to replay over and over, and because that would have been the last thing that you would have seen. That would have been the visual that would have replayed in your head over and over.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't want that for you.
Yeah, I was power of attorney, so I was the one that had to be there at the hospital, so they had to hold him until I got there from San Diego before they could move him to the morgue. And I did not let my kids or my husband or my sister or anybody else see him. Okay, go.
Yeah, I heard it was bad enough you had to see him like that. He was very, like, how do you say it? Like, he was very in control of himself all the time. He didn't want anybody to see him I can't say the word
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
You're close.
My boss laughs at me all the time. I mess up words all the freaking time. And he's like, oh, that doesn't even make sense. I'm like, yeah, it does. But he just, that's not any way he wanted you to see him or find him. I almost feel like he put things in your way. It was like,
Yeah.
all but the car breaking down. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep.
Like that's all that needed to happen was the car. Everything else was happening. Like, why?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he didn't want you to see him that way.
That makes sense.
But the way he's showing me, the way that you handled him afterwards, he says, thank you. That was a lot that you had to go through.
Yeah.
And I see you kind of did it yourself. Like, yeah, you said that you had a husband, but I don't see that husband as like the supportive husband that's going to help hold your hand through it and give you help and guidance. And when you're crying, he's going to give you a shoulder. I see him more as a, come on, get over it already.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what he's showing me. So he wants to tell you thank you for being so strong and getting through that for him. He says when you have to be strong, there's only one way to be is to be strong when you have to be that way.
Yeah. That is true. I had to deal with all of his affairs. Like my sister was doing her own thing and wasn't really concerned about it. So I took care of all of finances, house,
It was a lot.
funeral arrangements, everything by myself. So
Yeah. Yep, he's saying it was a lot. You didn't speak at his funeral?
no,
No.
I couldn't.
I know. He said it. He said it. Because I was asking him, did you speak at the funeral?
No.
And that was a no.
Yeah.
Everything was perfect, he said. Everything was perfect. So I just heard not a lot of love said. So did you guys not sit there and say I love you all the time?
I was a daddy's girl, so no, there was a lot.
There was a lot.
There. Yeah. Maybe my little sister, she always regrets not coming there.
Yeah, because that's where I'm feeling like I'm hung up right there. Because when you said no, I'm like, I know what I heard. So it could be for the sister, like there's something left unsaid, and it would be not a lot of love said. Like he didn't tell her and she didn't tell him that they loved each other enough.
Right before he passed, they were fighting a lot. So that makes way more sense with my sister, yeah. Because I talked to her about coming here today, and she's like, oh my God, I hope Dad comes through. And then that's for her.
So that would be the message to her, is not a lot of love said. So if there's words left unsaid, the words left unsaid would be I love you.
That's awesome.
I heard, and she's trying her best. So
She is. I'm proud of her.
my favorite thing to play is, what does she have of yours on her? I did that to somebody else, and I was told. But I am not told that you have anything on you of his. Like,
Not on my person.
Yeah.
No. And I just totaled my car, and I used to have something in there. So
yeah.
yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
that's been taken out, and I don't have
Because some
anything.
people will like wear a necklace of theirs, would wear carry their knives or like
Well,
buckle or something.
I have my dad's ashes put in a tattoo on my leg. So it's a little different, I guess, you know. But yeah, I mean, he does. He's
with
there.
you, yeah.
You know? Probably a first. You probably
Yeah,
never-
I've never heard that they could do that when you get an infection.
No, it was done 8 years ago when he passed away too.
Oh
in
my
California.
God.
They could put it into the ink, and they did the shadowing of my dad's boots on my leg.
Oh
with the
my
ashes.
God.
Yes, you
I don't
can,
think
yeah.
I want to. I'm good with that.
So I did it with my dad. I made him so I always have the right
my
foot forward.
God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty awesome. I never even knew about that, so that's pretty cool. Were you like, I don't know what the actual name is. I call them the sister mom. Were you the sister mom? Were you like the mom of the house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
after the divorce, I
Yeah,
took care
that's
of
what I
everything.
see you as, the sister mom. You're the one taking care of the younger ones. You're the one taking care of dad.
Yep.
That's what I heard. You're the one taking care of dad.
Yeah.
You were pretty young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they got divorced, I was like 12, and then
Yeah.
he passed when I was like 20 something, so 25,
Yeah.
26.
Yeah. It's crazy because he's like showing me like we're getting ready for the baths, we're getting ready for bed, like you're come on over here, let's it's bedtime, like the things that the parents would do around, get all the kids all riled up for bed and stuff like that, or unriled up for bed.
Ready?
Wind down.
Wound down.
Wound down.
Wound down.
Wound down.
Wound down.
Gosh, speaking of that, just about bedtime for the 3-year-old.
Oh.
I hope she's wound down when I get home.
I just heard Grandpa's got it.
Oh, good.
I swear, I just heard Grandpa's got it. Oh, that is so funny. Oh my gosh. We need a camera in that room real quick.
Yes. Oh, it's like.
He as well is giving you the big dad hug. Like he's taller than you, and he's just like, their arms in my vision, their arms are like Stretch Armstrong, and they just like go all the way around, But that's what he's showing me, is he's just giving you the biggest hug, kiss up here on the top of your head. I heard, love you, precious. Precious. Do you think because he passed in California, he's stuck in California?
No. I think he's stuck in my house because I have his ashes, and I feel like I need to give them to the rest of the family and have other people spread them. And I feel like I've just been hoarding them, you know? Like my dad, you know?
Oh, wow.
But we used to go camping in California, and that's why I wanted to sprinkle some of his ashes, but I don't want to do it without my sister because it's her dad too.
Oh, wow. And definitely sometimes getting rid of that could help. But once they're gone, they're gone. Just know that. Except for in your leg.
Exactly. That's what I did.
So he's just pretty much stepping back with the message to you that he's proud of you and that you being the little sister mom, stepping up, helping out, being there for him, being there for the siblings and stuff, and that he didn't want you to see him when he passed around that time. There was reasons why you couldn't get to him.
That
And
makes sense.
And he's taken ownership of that. And he wants you to let your sister know not a lot of love said, and he's aware of that. And he wants to say that he loves her and that he knows that she's trying her best, as well as you. Oh, it's your dad leaving to go put the baby in bed.
Yeah.
Right?
I know you said that you would like to speak with Grandpa. There's really nothing. This is your dad's dad,
Mom's dad.
your mom's dad, because I'm not seeing Grandpa with Dad. I'm not like there's nothing coming through at all.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's not that he doesn't have anything to say to you. It's not that I'm thinking right now what needs to happen is he's stepping back because you need to hear from your dad, not him.
Correct.
The biggest message for you tonight is that your dad's with you and that he loves you.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So if we want to revisit at a later date for even a one-on-one with your sister and you or whichever,
love that,
maybe at that time Grandpa will come through and we'll see what plays out
Yeah,
on a more intimate level.
that sounds good.
We're going to close this one out probably with one more with Amber. We have spoke before to your aunt, the one that raised you. She's just coming in real quick. All she's saying is that she loves you so much, and she's sorry you're going through what you're going through, but you're going to be okay. She says they're all right here with you. They're all protecting you and watching over you. I just heard her say, you are the sweetest little girl. I know you're a woman, but you tell her that.
We're always little to our family, right?
Yeah.
43 and still little. I'll take it.
She's showing me your head is held so high that you make her, like, she just, how do you say it? Like, you're going through so much, but your head is still so high. And she wants to give you, what is she, like, the way you're going through, all the stuff that you're going through, and your head is still held up high.
Like dignified?
She wants to, how do you say it? Like, she respects that about you. She loves that. I want to say honors, but that's not the spot. But she's loves how you still have your head held up high, knowing you're going through all this right now. I can't think of the word right there for some reason. I don't know why I have the same two initials that I have on the paper are the same two initials that they think that you have. Is that correct? I wonder why I had that. MS.
Yeah. She had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So I have, like, I don't know, I feel like what she's wanting to, like with your head held up, like she wants to raise you up. She wants to heal you. I don't know, does MS like...
She had MS and she took her own life because the pain was too much. I was about 25.
I just heard, but this won't be you, baby.
Yeah, I know. I believe that.
She said you're better than I was ever. She's got to raise you up. You're going to get through it. I heard I don't know why I'm hearing because we're not at that point, I don't think, but I heard get all the treatment. I don't know what get all the treatment would pertain to, but we will, okay. I was going to say we can cross that later, but she's saying get all the treatment.
Not very often does she get a tear out of me, so second time ever.
Well, I just feel like there's just so much emotion, like between her spirit and your spirit right now. Like I feel like she knows what you're going through, and she knows, like with your head held up high, that's something she was never able to do. And she just wants to I want to say give you props. I don't know what other word is in there right now. My brain is fried.
That's perfect.
She wants to give you credit for having that head held up high, knowing you're going through all this, knowing you watched her suffer with these two initials, which are the same two you have.
You're a badass. That's what she's trying to tell you.
Yeah.
I just had a TIA mini stroke a couple of weeks ago, and they think it's probably tied to MS, but they're not 100% sure. They have quite a bit more testing to do, but chances are that's probably what it'll come down to, because I haven't found anything else of why else I would have a TIA.
I don't know if this is you talking to Mike and she's telling me, or Mike's talking to you, or she's talking. This is your guys' words. So I don't know if she's telling me she heard you tell him, or she's telling me she heard him tell you. Does that all make sense?
Yes, it does.
Perfectly.
I heard, we got this, baby. And that's how he speaks to you and you speak to him. So I don't know if she's identifying that she hears you guys
Yes,
love and
he said that in
support.
the ER. So yeah,
Huh?
he said that to me. when
He
we
said
were
that.
in the ER.
So just know that she was there when he said that. Because and I didn't even think that was her talking, because I said that's the words you guys use. She loves the support that you get from your husband about this. That she didn't get that support.
Probably not so much. I don't think my uncle was very empathetic.
No.
Because it's something you can't see, so if you can't see it, it's not there. And he struggles with that to this day. So.
Yeah. It was in her head.
Yep.
I heard her say, I'm here for you, Amber, and I hear your cries. And I'm thinking it's because of what she went through and what you're going through is why she's coming so strong right now.
Probably. I told Mike on the way here, if my aunt comes through, I'm done with Lynn. I'm done with her. There was 2 people tonight that I figured would come through because of everything that has spiraled. And so.
Well, your grandma's been right next to you the whole night.
So I
But-
think I figured out my lip quiver because it didn't start until after I had the TIA. As it happens, I don't know, quite often sometimes and sometimes not.
Every half hour yesterday.
Yeah, so I think it's actually her. I don't think it's because it just does its own little thing and then it's gone and it's brief.
Yeah.
Wow. So we're just going to thank your aunt real quick for coming through with the messages for you.
And thank you for the genetics.
Sarcasm go through.
Right.
Sure does.
Right.
Sure.
And Steve, that might be another conversation to have at some other time, is how our human experiences contribute to our physical illnesses and discomforts, aches and pains. There's a fabulous book. It's called The Secret Language of Your Body. It's by Anna Segal. And it's not one time that I've read that where it was wrong.
I was going to
Always
bring
been
it
accurate.
in. It's in the car.
Always been accurate.
Dang, I was going to bring it in.
And it's associated to the heavy emotions that we stuff them because, well, I mean, we'll go to the whole thing. But anyway, another time. But I'm just planting that seed that it might be a very good conversation to have for your audience to hear.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, that was it. That was a lot of reading. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
I'm calling off tomorrow, boss.
Why are you calling off? Because I was doing reading.
Because I'm tired. Never called in after body sculpting. After reading, I'm just sitting here and I'm like,
Yeah. Hoping that they don't keep you up all night too.
oh,
You got to close the door.
yeah. Well, and that's the thing is, I have
closed.
Yeah, I have a habit of opening it, but I don't have a habit of closing it. So knowing we were going to be here, knowing I want to make sure that I had an audience ready to rock and roll, I think they knew that. And they don't know time on the other side. They have no time.
Right.
So while they're talking to me at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Right. Yeah.
it's nothing to them.
Yeah.
We'll go home, take a shower.
There's no sleeping in.
Close the door in the shower.
Yes.
And that'll be a good
Clear it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
training yourself to close that door because you're cleansing yourself. And you don't have to wash your hair. You can put it up. Just go wash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, she's always on me, always. Get your clothes off. She says, get your clothes. After I'll do a reading
Right.
in the third bedroom, I'll be wearing my clothes and I'm
Right.
exhausted. She goes, get your clothes off.
Yeah.
Go change your clothes. Go get in the shower. Wash that off.
Yeah.
Get a fresh pair of clothes on.
Right.
So she's always.
The next day at work too.
Yeah, thanks.
Right.
Thanks. Wait till I start bringing the sage into work. No, just kidding.
I got plenty of stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Be like, why is Amie out there?
So,
She comes and she sages your house too.
Oh, cool.
She does
Good.
Energy clearings.
Yeah,
energy clearings.
She's done our house, and our house is huge.
Yeah.
Bless Amie.
A lot of sage. She brought in
A lot
a
of
bushel.
sage. She had a
I
backpack.
have a lot of tools in my toolbox. So
Yeah.
just say I got a
Yeah.
lot of information in me to share. So
Yeah. No, I think
So
people
I was
appreciate
going
it.
to just end this real quick by
Yeah.
saying when I do have a session where the people are very emotional and they're just struggling, even after hearing the reading, they're still, I'll let them go talk to Amie. I'll give them
Yeah.
Amie's number because there's just some things that she's very knowledgeable about that can sometimes help get them over that a little bit. So
Right.
where I would give the reading, she may come in with the spiritual healing that
Right.
goes with the stuff that she's very familiar with. I can
Right.
give the message from spirit, but she is the
How to process it,
like
how
the
to-
emotional healer. Yeah.
That's good.
So
Little
it's like
team,
we're
little
really
duo.
yeah.
Yeah.
great team,
I
right?
believe
Yeah.
so.
No,
I
that's
believe
good.
so.
Right.
I believe so.
Well, I can tell you that people, this is a really important topic to a lot of people. Just when we posted it, just trying to get some people to be guests on here. There was a lot of interaction, a lot of positive interaction, a lot of people showing interest. So that's good.
Did you
I
know
mean, at the end of the day, no matter what,
No, I just found it off
it's about
of
helping
his
people. Yeah.
post
Oh,
and-
okay.
Yeah, she commented on it.
Yeah,
messaged
and I
us,
like commented, and he's like, "Can you be here at this time?" And I
Yeah.
was
So
like,
can we ask her how she feels
Yeah.
after that?
How did you feel- how
what's
did you
your
feel-
perspective of having this experience?
Yeah.
I'm super looking forward to your classes at Mojave Community College.
Oh, good.
And I want to bring people to it because
Thank you.
you really helped me heal. I feel
you.
amazing after this, and after
Mm-hmm.
I've seen what it did for her too. I don't know her.
Yeah.
I don't know you guys, but the energy in the room and the feeling of being calm after you talk that, there's no more tension. There's no more. It's released and you can breathe again. So thank you.
You're
Like
Yeah.
I feel a million times better. That's why I'm like, oh no, I've got to bring my sister and my mom. I'm gonna fly her out from Jersey and we're gonna handle this.
So we do group readings. So I will go to your house, or you can come to mine, and we'll do group readings
Can
at
you
my
do
house.
it on Zoom?
Oh yeah, we could do it on Zoom
Go
as
video
well.
chat.
I'll make her fly out here.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Well,
Very-
so that's
get out of
the-
the cold.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, though, is energy's everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
and so even if somebody's on the other side of the world, it's still
Yeah.
just tuning into energy,
Yeah.
and you don't have to be in her presence. Is
Yeah.
just what I want to.
So you guys have never talked before?
No.
No.
Met here.
Correct.
Yeah, she didn't even know who was going to be here until I said,
She
"This
walked
is
in.
Crystal. This is
Yeah.
Lynn."
That is.
Yeah. Didn't know anything.
Are you a believer now, Mike?
I mean, after walking down memory lane
Yeah.
with Grandpa John.
I was just gonna say
Yeah.
that was wild. But the furthest Zoom meeting that I've done was in Montana. The lady was in Montana, and we pulled her family here, and then we also pulled friends of her daughter who was in a serious car accident here and who passed away. So with that being said, if it is something that you do want to do a meeting, we can have you and your sister and then whoever else on Zoom at my house or your house or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. It's always an option.
Yeah. I'm definitely interested.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, thank you.
And then I do plan on going over to your house so your wife can have her reading.
Yes. I know she wanted to do it, but it's tough with a 6-month and a 3-year-old. So.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow.
yes.
So there's a little dynamic there that's like when one's asleep, the other is not.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I would say thank you for doing this, and
Oh, for sure.
and bringing the awareness to people
Yeah.
and sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please let us know how the apple pie is.
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God,
will find out what that is. I know. I'm trying to
She
apple
ate
pie,
it
apple
or
pie.
Yeah.
something.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, wouldn't that be funny?
Yeah.
Did she go out to dinner and have a piece?
I'll find
like,
out.
You gotta, we
I'll
need to
find
know.
out. Actually, I wonder if she went out. She said she was going. So her birthday was just a few days ago.
Oh my gosh.
And she mentioned, you know what? I'm actually going to read this now because I remember she said she.
Maybe she said Applebee's.
I remember she said she had something. Let me see.
Oh, wouldn't it be crazy? I had an apple pie with whipped
Was it a
cream.
group one. Let me see.
Ice cream.
Is it in there? That would be very weird. Let me see. Which one is it? This one? God, she did say something. It's like starting to come back to me when she mentioned that she was going to go out for her birthday.
Well, that wasn't me.
Oh,
Wow.
wait. Is this it?
Wow.
Oh, no. Unless a Paloma drink. So she said there's a local bistro that has wood-fired prosciutto and fresh spinach. Maybe even have a Paloma to drink. Does Paloma have anything to do with apple? I don't know what it is. But that was for her birthday. I was like, make sure you have a good birthday. And we'll find out.
Thank you for the tissue.
You're welcome.
Okay.
So,
Until next time.
so whenever you have readings and stuff like this,
Yeah.
have a box of tissues around.
Yeah, I wish I didn't even think of it. I'll make sure I have a box
It's
on
pretty
the counter.
emotional.
Okay, well, thanks, and we're going to do more stuff like this too. So,
Yeah.
on a regular basis. So, if anybody's watching or listening, or either or both, just message us and get on the guest list. We only have so many spots for people to sit, so we just want to make sure there's plenty of room and that you're not drained of all your life. So, yeah. So, all right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.